Welcome to Washington, D.C. Thank you, sir. So, like Stephanie said, things are a little different, but Robbie's on the way. He'll be here soon. We're going to get it started for y'all, if you don't mind. You feel free to sing along. The first new aspect of this weekend. I didn't sing the third verse. Thought I was going to sing the third verse, but I didn't sing the third verse. But we kept going. The song didn't end. It was just a little different. Much like this weekend will be. I would like to just say there is one thing that remains the same. It is that constant, and I don't know if we could do it without it. Mike Borja's still here. Yeah, he is. Also, very important for this weekend, keeping things in time and on track all weekend long, Mr. Stephen Norton. Now comes the time, every morning, whether we're at a convention or not, where Rich professes his love for this man right here. Most of you don't know this, but every morning, around 11 o'clock, the house in Billy's phone rings. The phone in Billy's house rings, that's what I meant to say. And there's a voice on the other side that just says, Billy, just wanted to tell you I love you. This is Richard Spade Jr., in case you didn't know. Billy Moran. So, if you guys don't mind, we're gonna rename this convention. Yes, it is SPNDC hashtag, and it is also the Tom. Why is Jason on stage? Where's Rich? If I have a joint duo photo op, at the schedule and it says that actually right now Jason Mans is in solo photo ops. Do I don't know. But we are gonna still have a good weekend. We're gonna have a lot of fun. Thank you guys so much for being here. Up next, the one, the only. Please give it up for Rachel.
Rob usually picks me up and carries me.
You tell me that now? I'm in. That's the one good thing I'm good at. Carrying stuff. I got it. Good seeing you.
You're doing an awesome job. He was awesome, right? Hello. It's so good to see you all. Is your weekend starting out right?
Yeah.
You can join me if you want.
I was supposed to do that, but I didn't know.
You should just keep coming up at like every 30 seconds or something. That'd be awesome.
Hey, bring drinks next time.
Yay! I'm excited about this weekend. This is a good one. I got to take the train out here because I live in New York, so it wasn't too far. It was a beautiful ride, and it's like beautiful weather, and it's a beautiful city. And I don't know, like, are a lot of you from this area? Nice. Because in my meet and greet, there was like an abnormal number of people from the general area, so yeah. I love that. It's good to see all of our faces. Are we doing questions? Is there anyone asking questions? Do you want me just to answer random things? Okay, so one of the things that was exciting was, are any of you D&D fans? Okay, there are, yay! And then, do any of you listen to the Adventure Zone? Awesome. Okay, so we're getting there. You all should, FYI. Travis, my friend, who has the Adventure Zone, which is an awesome podcast. Yeah. Even if you don't like D&D, it's super fun. He is DMing this season. They had their first episode. It's like a Harry Potter type world. It's really fun. There's like magic and wizards and all that. But he put a character in based on me, who's in a wheelchair that floats. It's a magic wheelchair and it floats in it. It has rainbows that comes out of it, and it's got all these like cool features and stuff. And it just made my life really happy. Just because also, you know, one of my passion points is having representation, and there were so many people just writing about the fact that it, especially within a magical world like that, you almost never see people in wheelchairs, and so it was a really, really cool thing. It was amazing of him to do, so yeah. So that was one of my big, like, yes! Yeah. I love that. And it's because of all of you championing me being here that, like, more and more I feel like we're changing the world for the better, that there's more representation, more inclusion, and it's a really wonderful thing. Yes?
Hi, Ms. Beinert.
Hello, you.
How are you doing today?
Good. How are you doing today?
I am doing very well, thank you. My question is this. Okay, if Meg were to come back, or when Meg comes back.
I like that.
Because we all
Let's go positive here today.
So So other than shaking the furniture with Castiel and sorry, the pizza man.
Yes.
What else would you like her to do?
I think, so to me, opening a supernatural script is like opening a present at Christmas. Like, I don't want to have too much expectation because there's always like so much joy in the discovering. I would be overjoyed to know like what they want to do with the character. So that being said, I really hope they do something with the Castiel thing. I think one of my favorite, I loved Goodbye Stranger. I love my final episode. I love the fact that Meg sacrificed herself in a really, but also not in a showy way. And I think also, as a woman, to have that kind of representation where it wasn't like the traditional prescribed gender role of like we're supposed to be the ones being rescued or the victims or whatever. That was really powerful to me. So I love any kind of acknowledgement. Just to even have a little hangover of that or acknowledgement of that or whatever would be really cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. So I have a friend with cerebral palsy, and she just got the most adorable service dog, and it has totally changed her life. Is that something you've ever considered for yourself?
I have not, and here's why I think, I don't know if that'd be conducive to like exactly my condition. To be honest, getting a lot of the little small things in life done is super, super, super hard for me. I can't imagine having to deal with dog food and dog baths and like just the taking care of, and I don't have, like, it's not in my nature to allow something or someone to take care of me without wanting to take really good care of it. So I would want to like shower that dog in lots of love and care that would be physically exhausting. So I feel like that would take, the spoon theory, I feel like that would take more spoons than it would give me. But that being said, I love all creatures, living creatures. I rescued animals for a long time. I had 16 cats and dogs in a New York City apartment at one point. That I was like bottle feeding, and half of them had ringworm, and like it was a lot of work. So I think of dogs, I think of work.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's a good question.
Hi. So my question was, what was your favorite moment between Meg and Castiel?
Oh, that's awesome. Well, I loved all of their moments. I think I honestly can't pick a favorite other than like the obvious. Yeah, fill in the blank. No, but also I love, so one of the things, I was actually talking about this in my meet and greet, because, we were talking about whether Meg could feel love or not, and etc. And I think the way that I interpret it is Meg felt all these things. There was like a magnetic pull toward Cass. She felt right and good and whole when she was with him. She couldn't help but want to protect him. But she also had no way of categorizing that. I think she would never call it love. I think she like rolled her eyes and it annoyed the heck out of her that she felt these things and would have made fun of herself for it. So I love those moments, and I think Cass certainly didn't know how to categorize it or make sense of it either. And I like those moments between them, and there was like various ones, like especially when she was the nurse and taking care of it, where like they're both so awkward. And neither one of them would categorize, or like when she's just like making fun of him and like take care of, like, he's annoying me or whatever, but so obviously not, because she's not leaving his side. So, yeah, I just like that, any one of those lines and that dynamic where they were just like, you're weird, I feel things, I don't know what they are. Moments. That was so much fun. What about you?
Honestly, yeah, it's the same for me. I just love the awkwardness.
Yeah, just awkwardness, exactly. That's what someone asked me if I had an episode for that character of just my imagining, what would it be? And I was like, a road trip where Cass and Meg are trying to be like normal couples. Like, that would be hilarious. They'd be so bad at it. So yeah, that was definitely my favorite.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. Yes.
Hi. I don't know if you remember me, it's okay.
Yes, it's good to see you.
Hey! It's not really a question I have. I really didn't think I was gonna make it here, just because life in general, and I'm really happy that
I'm really happy that you're here too.
I did. Because, you're my hero, and I just wanted to tell you that again, because I don't know if I'm gonna see you, but I really hope I do, and just doing this right here is, yeah. Thank you.
Yes. I'm so happy you're here too. And thank you for getting up and saying that.
I love you.
Love you too.
So I'm going to shift a little deeper in the nerd spectrum.
Yes.
I want to ask you about your Dungeons and Dragons characters.
Awesome.
What are you currently playing, and in what world, and what is your favorite that you've ever played?
I'm kind of in between games, but I've got this Eladrin cleric that I rolled up, but it's an LA game, and so like I keep missing when I'm there and like whatever, so it's really annoying. So I've never actually gotten to play her, but I love her, and I spent a lot of time. Like I have her spell book. And like all those things, so she's like my favorite character I haven't played, because I don't know how much you know about Eladrin, but they're really cool too. So yeah, I love that world. I did recently like a one stint thing on Heroes of the Veil, which is a D&D Beyond thing, and I played played, for lack of it, well, won't give the technical, but basically an angel named Leahy, and it was super fun. And then I played Little Red Riding Hood in a show I did. But it was like I really love that character because the way that we interpreted Little Red Riding Hood was she was a ranger, and she was super tough, and she was just like axe wielding, tear it apart, protect. And it was fun too because I got to kind of fall into a part of me that I don't always get to express, which is that like ridiculously overprotective. So like she would jump in a fight always, whether it was smart or not. She was always like, yes, I will take on the huge werewolf that's going to kill everyone. And like, I got this, guys, don't worry. And she was absolutely convinced, even though like I was very near death quite a few times. So I love getting to explore all those aspects of personality and stuff. What about you? What's your favorite?
In 3.5, I was playing a fighter with the Purple Dragon Knight kit from Forgotten Realms and like a Northern Forgotten Realms thing, but she was missing an arm from the start. And then part of what we played was to later, when our cleric got high enough level to regenerate it, it was like a really big thing.
Very cool.
Thank you.
I love that. I'm gonna get you all into D&D eventually. It's gonna happen. Just FYI.
They've resisted thus far.
Hello again. So my question is, your version of Meg really only interacted with the Winchesters. So if and when she might come back, are there any other hunters that you would want her to sort of interact with?
Hunters. Well, she did interact with Bobby. It didn't come out well for him. Yeah, I don't know if he'd like particularly take to like her being good or on his side. So that might be a little bit messy. I honestly, I love it. I love the show, and I love everyone on the show so much that you name it, I would enjoy. I really always wanted to see Rowena and Meg together, even though she's not technically a hunter. I also think it would have been really fun. Like, I think Alex did a really good job. Like, I always thought that would have been an interesting, fun dynamic. But yeah, I don't know. I could.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool if we could see Meg with Eileen, especially if you can.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I would pay for like that because Shoshana is one of my dear friends now too. And she and I actually she wrote a script for the two of us, separate, not a supernatural script. But yeah, I would love to work with her anytime, and that would be super fun.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, I feel like she's also one of the only hunters that might be able to outwit Meg.
Hi. Could you tell us the story of your audition for Supernatural and how you came to be on it?
Yeah. Well, also a happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday. I just want to say it from stage. So the thing that I liked about the audition was that Meg made so much sense to me. It's that kind of, we were talking about in our meet and greet, like how when you fall in love or something, it doesn't always, like, it's not about what's on paper, it just feels right. You don't doubt it. It was like, Meg just made sense to me. I don't know how to explain it. It was just like, I loved saying her words. I loved from the get-go, from the first sides that I saw. And so the audition experience was just that. And I met with Eric Kripke, and we were all like just having a good time and laughing. And it was one of those things that just felt right. Like her lines just like worked coming out. Like I enjoyed saying them. I enjoyed her, and it was just a good experience. It's an interesting thing I find in life a lot of times. Like I would find with auditioning, there are times I would fight to try to. It's like putting a square peg in a round hole. Like I was like, this should be mine, and you're trying to make something work, and it never does. Whereas sometimes it just like no, it just totally works, and we should just like kind of trust those things in life. Like no, this was where I was happy and supposed to be. It was good. So yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Hi. When we were in your meet and greet, and toward the end, something came up, and I didn't get a chance to ask it. And this was with your illness right now. Are there treatments that are new, that are out there, that are helping you be able to move better, or is it still progressing? That's what my question is. Is it still progressing, or are you able to maintain it at this time?
Thank you for asking. I think it's still progressing. There's an interesting thing that happens. I think it's probably true for a lot of us in life. I get better and better at handling things, even as my condition worsens. So a lot of times people will say, oh, you're doing so much better. It's like, no, I'm doing worse, I guess, but I'm better at handling the problems that come up. And I'm kind of like emotionally more able to handle it. So it bothers me less, even though it's, still progressing. There are certain things, sometimes certain symptoms turn on that are really frustrating. And the pain is difficult sometimes. And I don't, I could take painkillers and stuff. I don't like the way they kind of dull me out, so I don't. But what I do is a monthly infusion. This feels really boring. I do a monthly infusion that suppresses my immune system to try to slow down the progression. And my hope, I'll take all of you guys voting, my hope is to get stem cell treatment at some point. Because that's one of the only things that's been successful in turning cancer.
Thank you.
Thank you for asking.
Hi.
Hey.
It's so good to see you here.
It's great to see you too.
So I was just wondering, what was your favorite moment to film while Meg was on the show?
My favorite moment to film. Okay, so first of all, I want to apologize. What's your dog's name?
His name is Sergeant.
Okay, Sergeant, you're awesome, and I feel like I did wrong by service dogs. Okay, and then, God, it's really hard for me to pick up, like, favorite to shoot, or favorite overall, or...
Like what was, like, the most fun, like, to shoot?
I don't know, like, I don't know what the most fun was, but I loved the Pizza Man moment, not just because there's kissing, but, not that I don't like kissing, but, no, I just loved that moment because I felt like there was something really cool for those two characters, and I guess I liked those two characters together, so it was a really fun moment to be a part of. I also love the scene with Sam right before Meg eats it, and I loved saying, like, go save your brother and my unicorn. Like, that scene was really special to me. So I guess what I get my joy out of was less like just like, there's always like, there's moments where there's laughter on set or, you know, all those things, but I love the character stuff and seeing stories go in a direction that I think are really fun and interesting. I also, the first day I shot, I got to beat Sam up, and I said, I think it was like, not so easy without those super special demon powers, something like that. It was a great line. And something about like imagining me being that strong and capable, that was really fun. So, does that help?
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Do you have any favorite moments?
I definitely like what you said, what she said to Sam about like go save your brother and the unicorn. I love that. It's great.
Thank you.
Hi, I know you get a lot of joy out of your work with Random Acts and Gish.
Yes.
And I was wondering if Misha got to make up all the items or if you got to make up some of the items.
You're asking for super special secrets.
I just want to know if you get to make up some of them. You don't have to tell us which ones that you made up.
But they're pretty good at giving credit too. Like I did an item one year which was Save the Endangered Unicorns item, and they gave me credit for that. So yeah.
That's good. And so do you have a favorite one that you've got to participate in, or do you get to be involved in the judging?
I'm not, well, let me be really clear. Misha, Charlie Capon run Gish. Okay. So I'm not the head, like I'm the executive director of Random Acts, so that's my baby, but the Gish is separate. So that's their baby. And all the people on staff at Gish, like that whole group is just amazing. They do such fun, cool stuff. So we work together really well, but that's not something I can take credit for. But I do love, like we have a Random Acts team, and we do a lot of the Gish items, and they're super fun. I love this last Gish. I think one of my favorites was the jumble sale where you gave stuff away for free, because it was so amazing to see like people really had trouble with that. Like especially we did it in New York City. There was a couple teams we joined in, and it was very hard to get people to believe that they could actually just take it. They were very, very suspicious. We actually had one guy run away. Like we thought. I don't know, we were trying to sign him up into a cult. It was really funny. So yeah. Okay, thank you. Yeah. Hey.
Hello. Have you ever been pranked on set?
What was that?
Have you ever been pranked on set?
Was I ever pranked? No, not really. Which, I don't know, like I kind of feel like maybe they didn't like me. Or they just respected me a lot. I think there was one time on my close-up that there was a lot of farting noises coming from Jared's direction. I think he had a whoopee cushion. But so one of the things is that I, having grown up acting, I'm pretty good at not getting thrown off center. So I think it makes it less fun to prank me, because I've had many times directors and actors and things on other shoots have tried to prank me and I missed it totally. I had a director walk around for an entire day, really disappointed. He walked around for an entire day with a fake hand coming out of his crotch, and I never noticed. I was we had so many note sessions and things, but I think it's a testament. I was obviously looking at his eyes, not else. But yeah, I think I'm no fun to prank. But now I feel like I'm setting myself up, so I better not ever go near set again. Anyway, yeah, thanks, good question.
Hi, I absolutely love your character, but I have a silly question. When you got to wreck the car into the sign, did you actually get to drive baby?
It's not a silly question, no I did not. They had a stunt driver. I know, but I like to imagine that I did. And that's an awesome unicorn horn, by the way.
Howdy.
Hey.
So I was just wondering what your dream campaign and dice to use for a D&D game are, because everything has to come back to
What my dream campaign?
Yeah, campaign and dice set.
I got because I'm not a DM. I love I think because I write and I enjoy thinking up universes and making that up, but I love also as an actor or as a player or whatever, giving that up to someone else. I love seeing where their imagination is going to take something. I think that's super fun. So that's one of the things that's enjoyable about D&D for me. That being said, I love the Feywild. And I really love the universe that Travis created for the new Adventure Zone graduation series. I think that's really cool because it's like Harry Potter, but there's this annex of misfits. And that to me would be super fun because I think if I had to live in a magical universe, I'd probably pick Hogwarts. So.
I'm a huge Zonecast fan, huge Adventure Zone. I love the McElroy brothers, and the fact that you opened this conference talking about that, I was just over the moon, super excited about that, and that you're represented in the graduation. That's super exciting. But absolute separate question. What do you envision as kind of the happily ever after, or what would you want as a happily ever after for the boys, the show? Just, pure speculation. What would be the happily ever after in your eyes?
Again, I love seeing what they're gonna bring, so I don't have a lot of stake in I want to see them manifest them. I just am excited to see where it goes. That being said, I think to me what moves me the most about the show is there a group of people really trying to do good in the world, and faltering and having to make difficult decisions every day and stuff, but I feel for the main characters, Cass, Sam, and Dean, for those characters, I feel what they would need to know that they somehow accomplished doing good, whether they survived it or not, or whether, I think that if there is a world left behind that is better for their existence, there would be peace for them. And so that's what I would want to see. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes me a little emotional. That was nice. Yeah, thank you.
Hello.
Hey.
If you had a time capsule and you were allowed to put one moment of Meg's life and one moment of Rachel's life in it to be opened up many years from now, what would those moments be?
Really amazing question. It's very deep too. So Meg is pretty easy because that go save your brother and go save your brother and my unicorn, or the moment where she actually sacrifices herself to Crowley in order to let them get away. That is, to me, the most epic moment of her life and the most important transition of her life. So yeah, that would be the moment I'd put in the Meg time capsule. God, for me, it would be really, I don't know. I definitely feel like it would be one of the moments from the last couple of years. Really, really moved and proud to be a part of this Random Acts team. And there are so many times where I felt kind of whole and complete of when we've accomplished certain things, or we knew like we were going to put the daycare there, or we were going to pay for the unexploded ordinances to be taken apart in Lao, or like when we accomplish those goals as a group. But then, there are all these small moments that just felt really right too, where I just see someone's life change, often because of the good that they're doing, or the community that we've built, or whatever. But there are a lot of moments where I feel like that it was what I was meant to, like, why I was put on this earth. Like, it just, like, I feel like this is that. And sometimes in the panels and so forth, there's been moments where it's like, okay, just the fact that we shared in that moment, that those messages got out, that we created that together. I don't know what specific moment yet. I think, if I was a mother or something, there'd be a clear thing of like the day I gave birth to my child. This doesn't have that kind of finality. It's more an ongoing thing, but I'm grateful for all of these moments. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Hi. So when you first came on Supernatural, new Meg showed up, and I remember looking at your character and thinking, why does she look so familiar? So I went to IMDb, and it turns out I had seen one of your earlier works, the movie Bully,
Yeah.
which, that was kind of very dark, rough movie.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I didn't know, like, what was that experience like for you? And especially the fact that it was actually based on a true story and actual people. I didn't know if that made it more difficult or relatable, or how that was to approach that.
It was quite an experience. It was my first major part in a film. I remember coming home, it was one of those experiences that was like hard to adjust back to life after. It was so intense, and I also kind of felt like I needed to shower it away. Like it was a very dark character, and one of the things that was important to me about doing that film is if I was going to play someone making that kind of choice in life or whatever, they shouldn't be attractive. I was worried about that those kids, or in that character specifically, seeming in any way cool or attractive for making the choices that she did in her life. But because of that, it meant I had to kind of be in what to me was kind of a icky skin, but then also find the empathy and understanding for that. So it was very intense. Yeah, thanks.
Great, thank you.
Hi.
Hey.
I love your scooter, first of all.
Thank you.
So, what would Meg and Cass's spin-off show be?
That's awesome. I think it'd be really funny if it was like a romantic comedy. Like, you know, and I love Lucy. I don't know, but like I think basically the most interesting thing about those two characters is them trying to figure out how to be human. And trying to understand that, so I would love to deep dive into that. I think it'd be really fun. Of course, you know, there's like the epic grand experience of those two characters, but I think like at least in these incarnations with these meat suits and everything, the thrust of their struggle is actually daily life. Which interestingly I find the most challenging just in like the human experience. A lot of times it's easy when we're kind of like tethered to those grander things. It's one thing to like, you know, charge toward a noble goal or something, but then like having to do the dishes every day, or, you know, just those like little things can wear at us, and to find the nobility and meaning in the mundane, I think, is part of the challenge of being human. Does that make sense?
Thank you.
What would your spin-off be?
I do not know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll think about it.
Okay.
And I'll let you know.
Perfect.
All right. Thank you.
Hi. So, super random question, but you said you're a Harry Potter fan. So do you know what house you're in?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Gryffindor. Yeah, I've taken many, like there's no equivocation because I've taken many tests.
Yeah, my best friend would be so happy. I'm Hufflepuff, so I have to tell her now.
What was that, your Hufflepuff?
Yeah, my best friend's Gryffindor, so.
But Hufflepuff is awesome. Like there's not, like I'm not like one of those elitist Gryffindors. Like I completely understand that the reason why I'm Gryffindor, not Hufflepuff or Ravenclaw, which I have a lot of those like characteristics. The reason I'm Gryffindor is because I'm stupid brave. Like really not smart, will charge in without a plan, like, you know, kind of that kind of brave. So that makes me Gryffindor. But yeah, it's not a Gryffindor pride thing.
I figured you were Gryffindor. I don't know why, but I was just guessing. Thank you.
Thanks. Great question. I love that question. Always. Yay.
Hi. So, so Sam and Dean saw Meg like get killed by Crowley, and they never mentioned it to Castiel.
Yeah, sore spot for me.
So, and you know, Meg's kind of she got killed as soon as Meg and Cass really started to connect. So my question is, how do you think that Castiel would kind of like process her death?
I don't know, because we never got to see it, because for some reason it wasn't important enough to mention. No, I mean, I joke about it, like, believe me, there's not actually any, you know, bad feeling, but also kind of like, it's a little absurd. Like, come on, guys. It was a cool thing, like at least worth like, oh, one time over coffee, like, oh, by the way. Or maybe Cass saying like, wasn't that big chick around yesterday? Like, I mean, something. So yeah, I feel like that should be addressed. I will say, like, I'm grateful because there was the moment they both looked back in the car, and Sam looked a little sad. So I'm grateful that Jared put that moment in, because like at least there was some like, oh, that was nothing. Otherwise, I kind of felt like, oh, my life was worth it. Yeah, no, but good point. I don't know what to say other than like, yeah, I'd like to know if anyone noticed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. This is more on a personal level for yourself, dealing with illness. I know a lot of darkness can come along with that. So how do you handle like the emotional side, or if you get depressed, how do you overcome those things?
I'm always learning, so I never want to sound like I am the expert on this. It's like a daily struggle. I think the biggest thing is that I always have the goal of making it through to something more positive. And I guess one of the things that's pulled me through is that I know that that's possible. Like, I never had a point where I was so stranded and lost that I didn't feel like I could get back. Like, I knew it's gonna be really rough going, but I'd get there. And I go through that at different points. I've been going through that recently. Like, I felt like so many things in my life, I set goals of like, what really matters to me. I did a lot of like inner work and journaling and all that stuff to go, what actually matters? There's all these things that I wanted in life. Like, I really wanted to have kids, and I wanted like, a happy relationship, and all these things that I looked at, and I was like, not as important. Really, in the grand scheme of things, what's most important to me is like leaving a better world for children and future generations. And being a part of something I feel does that. And so in doing the work with Random Acts and all that, I felt like I fulfilled a lot of those things that are at the essence of what I was like desiring and wanting, and what I was sad at giving up. But I have had it, like just in the last like month or something, it's been hard because there's been part of me that's like, okay, I'm doing all those things, but I'm still kind of sad that I can't do some of the other things that I want, or thought I wanted. So I'm in a phase right now where I'm like, I have to work through that. But I don't beat myself up for it, and I know that I will get through it. That's the biggest, I think the biggest thing for any of us to give to ourselves, that like, that perspective of, this is a moment in time, I have to fully confront this and experience this and delve in, like make sense of it, but that I will get through it, and because I know I've experienced so many other times that I get through all these hurdles. And the same with every day, there's hurdles of pain or difficulty or whatever that I'm like, are really intense at that moment, and I allow for that, but I also know that won't be the case an hour from now. And because I've had enough experiences where I'm like, I made it through. And I think that that's important to always like keep in mind, is that this is one point in time, but there will be another one coming. Is that?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And I think even for someone who may not have the same thing as you are dealing with, we all have our personal experiences or illnesses, and I just think that that's a wonderful way to look at things. And I think sometimes when we are in that dark place, we forget those things, so that makes a lot of sense.
Thank you for that. And yes, I 100%, I think one of the most important things is I don't think my experience is unique in that I think we're all often operating at capacity. We're all struggling through things, and there's no categorizing of my thing is worse than your thing, and my, like, you don't deserve to be upset because my pain is worse. Like, we're all doing our best, and we're struggling through. So I prefer when we look at our connectedness and like the shared experience, as opposed to the differences in each, the subtle differences in each experience. So.
Well, thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Hi, Rachel. I was wondering if you've seen the new Star Wars trailer and what you thought about it.
Oh yes, and oh yes, I'm really excited for it. I love Rey. I truly love that character. Like for me growing up, so I grew up wanting to be a Jedi, and I kind of loved Leia for like I would do my, but like I don't know how many of us little girls had those little like donut holes because we didn't have enough hair to be able to really. You know, and I really want to, but she's a little bit too, like, or I think they made her tougher and stronger, or whatever. But like in the first movies that I grew up with, she was a little bit too, I guess, like that standard, typical female princessy thing for me. Like I wanted to see more of the fight and the strength and the Jedi powers and the whatever from her. And Rey has that. And also Rey is not sexualized. Rey, like there are so many things that I just like identify with Rey. And I just really, really love that character. And there are so many other good characters, but like to me, she's the one that I'm super excited about seeing. So what about you?
I'm so excited. My brother texted me when it came out. He's like, "Are you aware that a 42-year-old story is like ending this year?" I'm like, "Why? Why'd you have to say that?"
That's just mean. That's just mean. And there's no ending.
Exactly.
There is no, and like also like how much did that story live in all of our hearts and minds? For all those years we didn't have Star Wars.
Exactly.
Like, so don't tell me it's ever going to be taken away from me. That is not happening.
No.
Okay, cool. Just want to set that record straight. Like, you need to set everyone straight on that.
Yes, yes.
Okay, come on.
That's just the way my brother is, though. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi Meg, I love you, and I want you to know you're very inspirational. We all love you for your strength and your positivity. My question is, earlier you mentioned that you saved animals. I was wondering if you solely did that by yourself, or did you work with any kind of organization with, like PETA?
I did not do that by myself. I was actually, I was given or gave an award with PETA years and years ago. I have worked with them, but at that time, I was like, and I was I got really into different animal organizations when I was very, very young. And I was an advocate, and I like worked briefly at the Bronx Zoo and stuff. Like it was something I think, especially for a child who really wanted to save the world, always that was who I was. Animals helped give me an outlet because it felt, they were something I could physically do. Like, I couldn't go, I wanted to join the Peace Corps and things, but I was too young. I couldn't go out and save humans a lot, like very easily when I was little, but I could rescue, you know, an injured vole, like I did. Or like I had a pet caterpillar, a pet vole. I like a stray parakeet that I found on the street. I was always rescuing and bringing home injured animals and things. And I used to keep I had a journal, and I would keep their stories in the journal, and like it gave me a sense of like being able to accomplish and do something good in the world. Later, when I first moved out of the house, I actually got married at 17, so it was me and my husband who, I always feel like people indulged me. Like my husband was like, had a wonderful heart that like, okay, if it makes you happy, then he got into it too. And there was things like we briefly were like working with, there was an organization that was like rescuing them, would adopt, like give away kittens and stuff on the street that were new rescues. We ended up working with them. So of course it was always like, this kitten is gonna die if it doesn't have a home tonight. And so we would like take them another one, because when was I ever gonna say no to that? So that was why we got so overloaded. But I also had parrots and rabbits and a ferret. And yeah, it was just like, I went a little nuts on that when I first had, when there weren't parents around to in any way restrain me. So yeah.
My heart grew about 10 sizes. Thank you so much for that.
Hi. I want to know if there's any idea or deeper truth or even just a little piece of information that if you could automatically just broadcast it to the world and have everybody just know and believe and accept, what would that be?
Wow. That's a huge one. But oddly not dissimilar, I had a similar question at the last panel. So I feel really honored that you all asked me this type of questions. I think the most, most important thing for truth for me is connecting to each other. I think that if there's one thing I could say, it's like for all of us, right now in this moment and right now in every right now, just to remember to look up, to look at each other, to take that moment to connect. That that is why we are here, and it's so easy to go about life thinking about future goals and not noticing our chance to be human with each other in that one moment. So that's what I would pass along.
Thank you.
They give me the simple questions.
That was a good one. Yeah. Is there one left? Is that the last one?
Hi. I was wondering, what was one of your favorite bloopers from any of the takes?
See, that's a simpler question. So my favorite blooper was actually not from Supernatural. It was from a show called Nylon that I did in England. And there was a great moment where the lead actor and actress were they were supposed to be falling in love, and it was this epic moment of she realizes she's in love with him, and she comes into his house when he's in the shower, and she gets in the shower with him, and it's super romantic, only the actress slipped, and he was naked, and she grabbed,